Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning and welcome to Guardian Radio AM. Today is Tuesday, January 3rd, and it's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. Once again, this is C.A. Newry, and I shall be your host for today as we have a discussion. We're going to have an open line Tuesday, actually, to discuss what is trending and what you want to talk about, actually. And, of course, I have one or two things that I want to talk about, and I wish for you to comment to those things. It is New Year. This is New Year, and it's the 3rd of January, and I want to know, what is your New Year's Day resolution? What are you looking forward for? What are you looking forward in general for the Bahamas to accomplish and to push forward as an agenda? What should our government be doing? What should we be doing as a people? So that is one of the things I want to discuss about. And if you can they call me in at 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. And of course, you can always text information in at 422-GR96 or 422-4796 and join in that conversation. Also, it's January 3rd and we already have 2 murders. Let that sink in, because I remember having a debate with the wife, right? Saying, hey, how long will you think it will take before there is a murder? See, this is the type of conversation, strange conversation I tend to have. And she said, no, man, Bahamians are doing well. It's not going to be till 2, 3, 4 weeks before any tragedy, any monsters come out and do something horrific, right? She's very hopeful. She's an optimistic type person in contrast to me. And I said, wife, it ain't going to be a week. And of course, basically, January 2nd, 2, one time, right? And what is it that we need to do? What is the problem with the Bahamas? What's the problem with Bahamians? What is the problem with inner city youth, inner city violence? Why is this type of murder crime happening? So that's another topic I want to discuss. And of course, I want to talk Junkanoo. You see, and I want to congratulate One Family Junkanoo and Community Organization. I love that name. The idea that they put the word community organization within their name. I don't think there is any other Junkanoo organization that has the word community, what acknowledges their duty to the community, or greater than just the performance, greater than just the art form, that they are an organization that, even just by name, are committed to developing community. And they, the One Family Junkanoo group, have done a number of put on a number of organization projects, a number of community projects, throughout the years. So I want to commend them for that. And I also want to commend their female chairman. Has that ever happened? A woman chairman of a Junkanoo organization? And you can call me and tell me I'm incorrect. I'm not sure if Arlene Nash has been a chairman of, she's from One Family too. But has there been any other organization that has had a female at the helm doing a meaningful role? I'm sure there are female leaders, right, inside these organizations. But I mean, to put them at the helm to say, hey, we will follow your lead. You are our leader. You are the one leader. You are the one leader. Has there been any Junkanoo organization that feels comfortable, feels that is as if women are ready and can lead them and direct them? And if not, something else to commend the One Family Junkanoo Community Organization about: the boldness. They're trailblazers. So I want to do that. So I also want to talk about the results. I see the Valley Boys has placed 4th. And of course, if we juxtapose that to and contrast that to the Boxing Day Junkanoo Parade, we saw the Saxons Superstars Junkanoo group came 5th. And I think this is the first time that any other Junkanoo group besides, in recent times that is, and when I say recent, the last 20 years, 25 years, any other Junkanoo group other than the Saxon and the Valley Boys has ever two-peat, have claimed both New Year's Day and Boxing Day Junkanoo parades. I think this is the first time, so this is a historic time, and a historic time that should be recognized and celebrated and acknowledged, that this event, 2023, 2022, 2023, the idea that One Family Junkanoo Community Organization has claimed both parades is something that must be commended, something that must be recognized, and it must be analyzed, right? I mean, I want to also know, and you can call in and have a conversation about whether this, the closure of Junkanoo, the postponement of Junkanoo, the 2 years break, right? Whether these Junkanoo parade was worth it. When you know that, come back and say your fix, your satisfaction. Where's your satisfaction fulfilled? Did they live up? Did these two parades live up to your expectation, your thirst, your desire to have Junkanoo again on Bay? Or did they fall flat? I see One Family came out, and what the term they use now in Junkanoo, they dig up Bay Street, right? And I want to know, did Saxon, did they have any shovel to dig up Bay Street? Did Valley had any shovel to dig up Bay Street? And I want to talk about music makers. I want to talk about the music makers and their continuous sixth place, because I have music makers an endearment for them in my heart. I think they might be the longest running Junkanoo organization, so they must be celebrated. They're not ordinary. They can't be shunned. They can't be ignored. They need to put in a particular pedestal the idea that they continue to rush, and they need to be celebrated and added more extra money because of their longevity on Bay Street. Now, of course, I want to talk about colors in that B group and why they keep on winning. But I have a caller here. Let's post a caller. Like I said, it's an open line Tuesday. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. I'll give commentary about it, and we'll have that discussion. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to Garden Radio AM with C.A. Newry. How you doing today?
Pleasant good morning, Mr. Newry. This is Sparky coming at you from number 8 per United States.
Happy New Year, Sparky. Justin, man.
To you and your mom, your pa, your wife, and your children, your godmother, everybody else.
I embrace that. Inshallah to you.
And let me tell you something. Allahu Akbar, Salam Alaikum, and to the most beautiful little country in the entire earth.
This a beautiful country, eh?
I say the most.
There you go.
And every foreigner from every country will tell you, them want to come to the Bahamas.
Yes.
And we say Commonwealth. We common, but the wealth ain't.
Go ahead, man.
All the fun and jokes aside.
How can I do you for
Mr. Newry, I'll open it up this day. Let's say thank God for giving us, sparing us all the chance to breathe another year. It's not a new day now. It's a new year. So what I'm trying to get across to you, Mr. Newry, when it comes to the Junkanoo, that I try to explain a lot of things to people, and they know simply, it's very simple what happened, you know.
Go ahead.
When I told you about Gus Cooper, a young group of guys that started the Valley Boys, and what people don't understand why the Valley ran on with so much victories in concession. Hello?
I'm here.
Why they ran on, remember at that time, we had Junkanoos were just community-minded. Group of people got together in the east, in the south, and in the west, and they competed against one another. We also had the thing, what we call Collins Wall, which separated different constituencies or portions of New Providence, right? You had like the Punch Bowl up in the east. You had Chippy down in the south, and then you had the Vikings and those guys and other people out in the west. But then when it came to Gus Cooper, the 17-year-old, he was one of the first persons that reached out. That's why he mentioned my mother. He reached out to a corporation or company and started the thing with getting sponsors.
But Sparky, you are a Junkanoo. I want to understand what's happening now. They say that Junkanoo has changed, that there's a new king of Junkanoo, which is a
Yes, that's what I'm leading up to.
Yeah, but I know you lead and taking long lead, and I said,
no, but see, you got to get the history right.
But you told the history before.
No, but I'm not telling you this. So listen what happened.
Go ahead.
Now, when we came to the idea of sponsors, if you notice, the ones that coming out with these victories are the guys that getting the big time sponsors. You got the Valley Boys that started with Malcolm Gas Station, went to the English China Shop, went to Central Furniture, went to City Lumberyard, and then they started going to Paradise Island Hotel, Nassau Beach Hotel, Cable Beach Hotel, and then we went into collect the brewery. And if you've watched the groups that have these big sponsors, they have the funds to do what they want to, and instead of getting 200 fellas, they can become 800 people. And every one of those girls and guys can get any paper they want, any glue they want, and they can bring on the prettiest choreography groups and the prettiest women with all the feathers and everything. The people what you're talking about, like down in the bottom, coming fifth all the time, sixth, the fancy dancers and them. They scrap it just to get paper and feather. So Darren, Bastian, and one family now, they up in the big boys. When they go to this insurance company and the hotel and the brewery and Shell and now think we got Bama and the hotel out west, out Albany. That's big money these fellas got. And when you see them, when you saw one family come down Bay Street with those choreography female dancers, you saw the costumes they had on, and the lineup, how much of them there were. Those, the Valley, the Saxons, and one family, those are the groups that are bringing them. Now you got Genesis coming in the same thing. You got Roots coming in the same thing. And that's why you see Junkanoo got this big time competition now with only points separating first place and second place because they got the money, they got the sponsors. And still, at the end of the day, the participants in this group don't get $1. They still reach in their own pocket to buy tricks and everything. With all that money. And they're not paying nothing. Okay? Other people are making money other than the Junkanoos. Check that out. That's what's happening. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Sparky. I appreciate that. And of course, I want the conversation to be about what's happening now in Junkanoo. How important is the choreography dancers? I see those women dance out there, and this is not just a dance, right? This is an orchestration of an event. And Caller, turn on your radio. I can come to you right now. And it's orchestration of an event where you sit down and say, wow. You know, and I want to know how important that is in order to win. But anyway, go ahead, caller. We're talking, have an open line Tuesday, and we're talking about whatever you want to talk about today.
Quality Data Stocking voice along with you, Newry.
How you doing there, Brenda?
I'm holding. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, too.
Godly New Year.
Definitely.
This would be much better. We need justice, law, and order in this country. But I want to say something in which Sparky, I don't too much agree with Sparky when he talked about the groups, right? The big groups and the money. You see, the money comes because the youngsters, I was Russian from I was 12, okay? 12 years old. And you gotta, it's like building a house. You continue growing, and as you get the money, you know what I'm saying, you put into what you want. But what I want to say is, right, when you become good, right, like I said, building your house, you get what you want. The people, the sponsors, want their businesses to be advertised. So I don't want Sparky to get this thing wrong, okay? They sponsor a group because they want their business to be advertised. Even though they sponsor a group and government give a stipend, it's still, Junkanoo still pay thousands and hundreds of dollars on to have their costume to be done to the way they want it to look in order to go on Bay Street, for them to look good, to win, and for Bay Street to look good. So don't get this thing wrong, Sparky. And not only that, the majority of rushers gets nothing, even though they spend all their money. Because why? They love Drunkenu, and Drunkenu are for the people. Okay? Some people went and put the bleachers out there. Why? Because they wanted to make some money. Okay? That doesn't belong to the Drunkeners. Let's get this thing right now, Sparky. Thank you. That's all I want to say. But before I go, and those people would want to get young children into Drunkenu, don't put those youngsters into slavery. Pay them. Pay those children. And government should make a law that everybody that rushes gets something, some money. Because everybody else making money off the drunkeners. All those people would put their stalls out there, and things like that. Hey, fix this thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bremen. I appreciate that. And I see everybody is excited about Junkanoo, and that's why I say I'll include it into the discussion of what should we talk about. And of course, Junkanoo was yesterday, and we get the results, so everybody is up in arms and discussing it, right? I see I got one text here. I want to talk about something entirely different. It says, good morning. This is a little off topic. But we as a country really needs to start talking about all these bad car accidents we are having. And we are having a number of bad car accidents with deaths, right? And serious injury. Too much persons driving on our streets with no license or, more importantly, no insurance. That insurance thing is an issue. A lot of people are just driving, right? I don't know the particulars, but I'm almost certain that 23-year-old driver was not insured. Now that young 16-year-old is dead and there is no recourse. And I'm sure we have laws now to deal with that. And hopefully they'll deal with it expeditiously. But we do have a lot of car accidents of late. And clearly we either need to concentrate back on our drivers' learning issue or concerns, or do policing and anything like that, have inspections of some sort, change the whole system. But I have another caller there. Producer Patrick, caller through. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing? Happy New Year to you.
Oh, the same to you. See you, Newry.
Hey.
And congratulations to one family.
Yes, congratulations to them.
Yeah, they do well. It's nice to see another group, not trying to, but definitely will be in class with those two giants, But what I want to talk about in the new year, I want to talk about getting this crime under control. We got to work on whatever needs to be done, even if that means turning heads, If we set up a particular minister.
But what you think is causing this violence and crime, though, right? This is not typical of a Bahamian culture, no. Something is odd. Something is peculiar. If you're one of them spiritualists and those superstitious Christians, you would say there's an evil, demonic spirit that is encompassing us, right? And I'm trying to say, this ain't normal. Why and this is not revenge. Well, it could be revenge killing, but this is not like out of the blue, you rowing with somebody and you hit them over the head, or you fighting in some sort. These people are hunting people down and plotting on them and then killing them. That is peculiar.
It all goes back to the court system, because persons who get these loved ones from murder, they see the court ain't moving swiftly enough, right? And justice is not being served, meaning the same person. Imagine someone kill your loved one now. Just imagine for a second. Go to Foxville, go to prison and come back within a month or so on bail. And, that's just something to think about,
So it's like a vigilante killing.
Yeah, and why? Because the case wasn't tried in sufficient time? Whose fault is that? And that's why they're out on bail, because you only could keep a person locked up for so long, right? And again, to the point, I don't know if you listened to the commissioner's statement that he gave, where he is frustrated. You heard the statement he made with the interview?
No, you tell me. What do you say? I didn't hear it.
He says he's frustrated. I mean, not he say he's frustrated, but the comments that he was giving us relates to how these same persons who the police charge and lock up And before you know, they're right back out on the street.
And we need to have a discussion about that, because I don't want to place blame on any particular area, because it's the police force who enforces the law, and there's the courts who interprets the law, and there's the lawyers who trial lawyers, and of course there's the government who enacts the law in general. And the police officers are saying that, hey, we capturing the criminals, we bring them to court. The lawyers are saying that we analyzing what the police brings, and we're trying to see if we can try with the information they give, and I present in front to the judges. The judges are saying, hey, I see what you brought, right, is insufficient, and I have to give them bail because it's taking too long. Some people say it's a bottleneck and it's taking too long to try, and some people say the laws need to change in general, so the government needs to change the law in order to enforce what the law is. So it seems to be an overarching problem.
Who the box stoppers at the bottom line is?
I don't know. There should be. It's supposed to be enough laws to enforce. There's enough laws to enforce at this present time.
When you went to the poll to vote, right? In your mind, wasn't you voting for change? Wasn't you voted for segregation things to be different?
Yes, I voted for things to be different.
Government laws to be changed, and things to be not the same. So that's the point. What I'm saying is, I'm not trying to hit the national security minister, right? Because I can call it as it is, all right? And like I tell people, I don't have no affiliation to no particular government or politics, like they always line me up to be, right? But if you appoint somebody in a particular area and it's not working, then move them and put somebody else who may have a plan or who may could change or do something differently. What's so wrong with that? Or you take on the position.
I agree with you, Colin.
I'm not no genius, but I mean, that's how I'm saying it. Because I don't care when you are in opposition. You had a problem with the person who was there, right or wrong. You had a problem. If these people would just spend these interview and these talk, what they were saying before, listen to what was being said. They had a serious problem, knocking and bashing everything. So let's work it out this year, 23 man. Because these same persons who you see being murdered, these are families, these are our young boys who could be changed. They could have come around and turned around, but instead their life just gets snatched away. That's something to think about, man. I don't want to see 2023. We end up with the same repeat as 2022.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Thank you very much. If you follow trends and if you follow numbers, we know that every year the murder count goes up, and the next year after that it goes down, and it goes back up, and it goes down. Last year it went up.
If you'd like to make a...
Last year it went up. So if we follow trends, this 2023 year, it's supposed to go down. Is that something to celebrate? It's something to acknowledge, because, like I said, for the past 15 years, it went up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And because it went up last year, more likely it'll be trending downward this year. So this is something to anticipate. I need to have a show about conspiracy theories, right? Like, what conspiracy that you believe is happening in the Bahamas right now, right? There are some, and I get a text right here, and I'm going to summarize it because I shake my head at it, who believe that it is no coincidence that people who are being murdered have, what do you think, ankle bracelets on them where people know where they are. I'm not sure what they're trying to say. There's no coincidence that they are out on bail. That all these may be something sinisterly planned. I don't know, but people are talking about it. They start speculating. So one of these days I'll have a show just on conspiracy theories that what you believe is actually happened behind the scene, some kind of shadow government type thing. I see I have another caller there, producer Patrick caller through there. How you doing, caller?
Hey, good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Good. Calling from the city of the Valley Boys to congratulate one family on a stellar job both mornings.
I want to pause you there, and thank you very much for congratulating them, because they're duly.
To the mic, I can barely hear you.
I'm sorry about that, and I'm talking right in front of the mic too now, so I'm not sure what's happening. I want to stop you right there and ask you this: what happened to the Valley Boys? The great Valley Boys, what has happened to them? Why can't they win a parade?
Well, don't say we can't win.
I just be giving you 2 chances. I give you all 2 chances to win, and you lose.
Yeah, but everybody can't win. Everybody can't win the race.
I know Valley Boys can't win. I know that for sure. Yes, I see that.
Yeah, if you don't do your homework and you're running on complacency and past performances, what you think happened to you? To give one family, the Valley Boys, a little bit of credit though. When Jackson Burnside and those started up one family, the group that they would always emulate and study was the discipline of the Valley Boys. And they have now taken that and perfected that. But the Valley Boys, we going on, you ain't know who I is. You ain't know how much win I got it. Because every time they call, they talking about these wins and stuff like that. But then this thing goes on. We have become complacent.
So you believe that the reason why Valley Boys lost because they became complacent? You don't believe they was outperformed, outdone by the one family?
Yes, and all that is complacency, you know. You see how our girls, we had an idea for our girls, but we never perfected it. One family did. And our brass, we go under the bridge countless times. I always give them an idea that when December reach, you take your songs to the bridge to see what works from what don't work and see how the crowd reacts to it. But they never listen to old folks like me. And then when they don't practice in December, they go to Bay Street, fiddling around, the old songs are still in their system. And they can't get it out. You know what I mean? But we fall down. But this year, we're looking to reshuffle that cabinet. We definitely going to reshuffle that cabinet.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
It does. It does answer my question, and I'll ask some more questions so you can listen to that too.
Okay. Well, what I really... Hello?
I'm still here, man. I can't hang up on you.
What I really called to speak about was Happy New Year's, Pat and all of those. Pat was right on point. Pat was trying to lead you somewhere just now. But you get sharp on this microphone because she was asking you who you think or what you think is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I would expand on that and said that everybody have a part of that problem to play. But the biggest problem with these criminals is right now is the judicial system.
Judicial system.
We have born these criminal babies, and before we cut them off young, bend the tree while it's young, we have allowed the judicial system and those that participate in that, like the lawyers and stuff, to create a monster. Because what the lawyers do is they stall the court time for these fellas. These fellas don't work, they didn't know that. And they choose these lawyers who need the money. So the lawyers get these boys off at all costs to come out here to go do foolishness again so them boys can bring their money. Unfortunately, for some of them, they don't make it. But it's the judicial system is the final run that's causing all of this problem in this society right now.
I hear you. Even though that's, to me, that sounds like an oxymoron, right? The judicial system, I believe it's comprised of the law and the system in general. But you're hinting that it's actually the lawyers, not necessarily the judicial system.
Yeah, you ain't talking into the mic.
I am talking in the mic, you know. I'm not sure.
That producer turn you up.
You got to turn me up, producer, because I the mic right in front of my mouth. I even sound a little muffled. But I'm saying that that is it the system itself, or is it the lawyers separate from the system? That we have some sinister lawyers there who knows how to manipulate the system. And it's not the system that's the problem. It's just that we have some KCs out there, right? Some criminal lawyers out there who know how to manipulate the system. And in their manipulation, they have put the interest, the best interests of the Bahamas in the back burner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Seattle and state the adopt a statement from Seattle. We need to have, from this point on, a very serious conversation as to what we do. Because CA, whether we like to believe it or not, we have basically lost our country, you know. You can't see what's happening in the Southeast. A young baby has been born in the Bahamas. I'm talking about in Haiti. a young baby has been born in the Bahamas with the same resemblance.
Mm-hmm.
You see all this crime, we moving forward, and we wouldn't stop it. We wouldn't try to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
But before it mushrooms into what we have over there. But anyway, thanks for taking my call. I don't want to take up most of your time.
No, man, I enjoyed having a conversation with you. I have a text here.
Okay.
I have a text here saying, why are murderers constantly being let out to murder other murderers? Doesn't it seem very ironic? There is definitely a 33rd degree shadow government, by the way. And I'm not sure what I mean by 33 shadow government and why are murderers being let out. So we're saying that, again, I say I need to have a conspiracy theory show and just let everybody call and say what's on their mind in terms of conspiracy. But this texter is saying that murderous criminals are being let out purposefully. And when they let out purposefully, they are let out to commit crime and murders or other people who are murderers. I know that, but that's conspiracy theory. We can work on that. We can work on that. I also see a text, not a text, a Facebook post by Fred Ferguson. Of course, Fred Ferguson is a renowned culturalist, a musician of the Bahamas, right? And his post is about Junkanoo, where he said, "Happy New Year. Let's all come into agreement and state that there are a few songs that should be banned," which is a strong word, he said, "from future Junkanoo parades." And I think he may have been tongue-in-cheek with this, right? Or even performances, just because we can do better. And basically, he's prodding the Junkanoo community to do better in regards to their song choices. And he gave a list of songs, right, that he said we should not play anymore. And that's Island in the Stream, Osam, City of Gold, Smile a While, Buffalo Soldiers, the ESPN theme song, Michael Road, Boat to Shore, Good Morning, Mr. Fisher, Fire Burning in Andres, Wade in the Water, and he lists even some themes that we say we can't be doing these themes either, saying flowers and flora and fauna, Africa, Atlantis, underwater. So anything relating to these things, we need to ban and block regarding Junkanoo. But my question, I see you, caller. Right after the break, we'll join you. And my issue is, does he have a right to complain as a spectator? Or does Junkanoos have the last call to say, this is what we want to do, so we can do it? We spending our money. But anyway, this has been Guardian Radio in the AM. We're going to be right back.
Always on the go? Missed the show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And welcome back to Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Newry, and we have an open line Tuesday today on this January 3rd, and during our New Year's resolutions. I see you call, I'm going to bring you on right now, but I want to read this text. This text kind of disturbed me, and I said, I'm going to play it. I'm going to read it, right? Because I say I will entertain some conspiracy theories today, right? So crime will never stop, says the texter. Stop in Nassau. All over this town, we have half Haitian, half Jamaican, and Dominican mixed up in our Bohemianization. England, Coconut Grove, Baintown is infested with these people. They are of a lower class, and their behavior is synonymous with people like that. They don't work. They drive around in black belt areas with no license or car insurance, robbing and raping every day. That is not the decent Bahamian way of life. I want you to sit just silently and take that in. We have Bahamians who think like this, right? And surely this is a part of crime right there. That thinking, that thought is a aggressive and violent thought and a violent act. To spend your 10 cents to text that is violence, right? That's part of the problem right there. Violence. But anyway, I have another caller there. Patrick caller through there. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, Siri.
How you doing?
Yeah, sorry for calling back, man.
No, man.
I taking an issue with Fred Ferguson, man. As much as I love that man and his musical ability, what Fred Ferguson have to understand when it comes to Junkanoo, man, he need to fill out no application and do no formal nothing and no interview for Junkanoo. Junkanoo is the best karaoke sport in the world. That's where anybody could jump in the line and go be what they want to be. You know what I mean? I could be the president, picking the president of the United States or the prime minister or the Joneser when it comes to Junkanoo. And Fred Ferguson needs to understand that.
But I think,
you know what I mean?
I think Fred is saying that the song choices. We keep on picking the same song choices.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Newry. That's a karaoke sport. That's the best karaoke sport in the world. You could be and do what you want to do.
True.
You understand, Fred? Getting that mixed up with an official bandstand. That's Junkanoo, man. Junkanoo started in the backyard, in the back of Master house, you know. Master had the live band in the house, but Junkanoo people was under the tree beating with drum and shaking with ball with rocking it. That's what Junkanoo is. That is Junkanoo. We don't have to be no professionals to be in Junkanoo, even though we have professionals in it. You understand me? He thinks everybody must be able to read music and do this and do that. No. That is not Junkanoo.
What is your comment on? I was trying to find out who said it, and I thought it was my cousin Hannah.
I know.
But the question is this: there's a movement to say that only Bahamian songs should be played by the Junkanoo band. What do you think about that?
Well, see, Newry, I could guarantee you the clothes and the hat and the turban that Fred Ferguson wear, that he make in the Bahamas, but he wearing it, eh? If you could purchase a clothes wherever they made and you put it on, that you might almost consider it yours. That's Bahamian. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with the music. As long as Bahamians could put a twist on that music or whatever it is, that's us, man. You know what I mean? And like I say, when it comes to Junkanoo, you got some people that they can't even know if you spell it out for them, but they got their trumpet and they going on Bay Street, and that's why you may have the repetition, because some of these niggas ain't no professionals.
You don't believe it's too much flowers theme?
Listen, you
then
say,
old Africa theme.
Listen, we just bring a lot of themes. I hear a lot of people talking about them when you try to conform to what they want, then Junkanoo get boring.
Yeah.
Because we could be bringing Bahamas all the time. It could get boring. So allow the Junkanooers to do what they do, and allow the groups what can't afford it to keep bringing flowers and bees and birds.
There you go.
You understand me?
I understand you clearly.
Good. Thank you very kindly.
Good. I know that Genesis Junkanoo Group did not have a major sponsor for their event. I think they came fourth in Boxing Day, and they came fifth in this Junkanoo parade, New Year's Day parade. And I wonder, how important is money? And how is it that Genesis, which is a major group, right, does not have a sponsor? How? Surely money dictates the possibility to win. Mind you, they're doing well without a major sponsor. But imagine if they get one extra $100,000, what they can do, how much feathers they can and tricks they could buy. But anyway, I have another caller on the line. Go ahead, caller.
Happy New Year, brother. How you doing?
Happy New Year to you, man. How you doing?
I'm fine. All the callers who called before me, I know all of them personally, and all of them making a lot of sense. let me tell you something. Let me take what Stubb was saying. See, it's a word that called amendment in this country. See, and that's why I keep telling you all, the Moses crew destroying our country. They ain't want to fix nothing, you know. They don't want repeal the landholder not back, taking all the land of my children, my grandchildren can't afford to buy land where they born. You see, that's wickedness, that's selfishness. You see, it has to stop. I see somebody send something on the Facebook yesterday, the Haitians keep building in Abaco. And chat group, plenty people really upset. Now, let me go back to the jungle now. I see, I spent millions of dollars, personally, man out, 19 hours a day, quit my job, do things, kept keep jumping you on Bay Street. Did a lot of things, man. Love this country. Love the youth. But in all my life watching the jungle, I believe in discipline. I believe in education. Okay? Now, what's happening in this country is that, you see, I will never blame the judges. But all I want my baby people to do is be honest. Stop hating one another. You see, it's so much hate in this country. You see, because the others can take this country away from us, you know. Not no war and stuff. They can take the country, they can infiltrate us, and they get the position, and they can take care of the people. I don't see the Chinese complaining, the Haitians, the Jamaicans, the Barbadians, the Cubans, and the Filipinos, you know. They just go to the United Nations and tell the United Nations, our government will give them more citizenship. All you civil servants in there, please, when we come in these offices, smile. Be paying you all, you know. If I had some say in Mr. Newry, 20,000 civil servants need to go home, you know. And when I say need to go home, everybody who with the pension, let's go home. Let the government lend them small loans. I'm not small loans. I tell them $250,000 now, because $50,000 ain't no money to start no business. If each person hire 4 people, see them big companies like Bahamas and Atlantis, and they just downsize when they can't make money, they pack them and leave, owing millions and millions of dollars to the government. The government, we can't take them more taxes from the brave Davis. We getting taxed to take off money from the bank. We getting taxed for every Jesus Christ thing in this country. Okay? We need to fix the country, and John Canoe is the only thing keeping this country together. Not the church, not the politicians. And let me say this last thing. See, I give one something a couple of years ago. All the members of Parliament, to write on all of them. I can give you one. See, everybody keep complaining. But no, who owned the airport?
Go ahead, man.
Who owned the airport? Selin International Airport. Who owned that?
We own the airport, man.
Thank you very much. Now, who owned it?
We're privately run by Bahamians.
No, the Canadians.
Yeah, but we manage it, though. It's Canadians who have a system. But we manage that system.
That's what we need to do with all of the ZNS and all of waterworks and all these things that they're doing their job.
Privatize everything.
Not privatize, you privatize it to a certain extent. See, I would give Bahamas here one more lump sum of money on water and sewer, but if they can't get it fixed, you get no more money to get from the taxpayers.
Okay.
See, that we can't keep running a country like this, man. We in $10 billion worth of debt, my children, my grandchildren can pay. If you had a lottery and earmark these things, don't put nothing in the consolidated fund, you know. $250 million earmark for youth, sports, and culture. Because private people, smart people can run that. The government can take this money and move and put some place there. $250 million go NHI. Everybody who needs heart surgery, the money right there. $250 million go earmark go to pay down the debt. $250 million go to help develop the Palmy Islands, etc., etc., etc. That make sense to you?
No.
Every country in the world got a lot of Haiti. I'm taking care of everybody.
We need access to more money.
We get $7 billion to it. Americans like to gamble. Who don't want to gamble? That's their business. It's legal in this country, you know, who raising 18 and know. It doesn't tell more people in Rome. You ride in the city, you see young people one blossom, look bad, falling down, see all over the place. But no, there's plenty of things I want to say, but anyhow, I'm not going to take them no more time. The Himmy people start loving ourselves, man. Please, man. Alright, other people can take this country away from us. They're gone.
Thank you very much, JJ. And is there a real fear, and like JJ said, other people? I need to have a show on that now. The other people. Just name it that. What are you doing Thursday? The other people. Is there a fear that the other people are plotting on taking over the Bahamas? That they have seen nothing wrong with the Bahamas, how it's going, but because of how Bahamians view themselves and their country and not holding the government accountable, that the other people are able to come here and manipulate the whole system and get ahead. Is there a real fear of the other people coming and taking us whole? What did Sir Lyndon say? What Sir Lyndon say how to quote if you don't want to fight. Anyway, let's go to the next caller. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear me?
Hey, CA, how you doing?
I'm doing well. You're what's called the end of the show. Go ahead, man.
Happy New Year to you. And, well, sometimes calling to the end is always good because you get to listen to the commentary of many of the otother Bahamians who share similar ideals.
Yes.
JJ was onto something there. And, the perception out here is that it seems as if the Bahamas is not really for Bahamians. I mean, we see many instances where there are those who come among us seem to be getting away with a whole lot of stuff that Bahamians cannot seem to get a foothold to get away with. And that is just a perception on the ground. Now, is that perception a reality? For many, it is a reality. There are lots of laws that is being broken in this country that the average Bahamian cannot get away with. But it seems as if certain, and I wouldn't even talk about our friends from the South, but even our friends from the North. Some of them come here, get away with these things, and we as Bahamians, we cannot get away with them. The systems, I agree that there are some systems, and it comes down to the politicians and these lawyers in this country. There are so many systems that appear to be broken that seems to be amended and upgraded. But, the Bahamian people, from time immemorial, has been speaking out about these things to be fixed. And it seems as if no government that comes into power has the willfulness to go in and fix some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Article 7, for instance, is one of these articles. I mean, we have Fred Smith, for instance, have given our government many of the articles that can be amended with just by going to Parliament and passing these things. Name me one politician that has gone in Parliament and actually tried to amend some of these things.
Jeff.
This is some of the vexing things that get some of us out here.
Jeff, and like you said, Fred Smith has given our government the opportunity, highlighting all the things that is wrong, and say, I'm going to bring it to your attention and use the law to show you that what you're doing is silliness. But we have Fred Smith as the evil one, as the enemy of the Bahamas, when in fact he's just highlighting what's wrong. Why do we demonize Fred Smith so much?
Well, the thing is, and CA, we I mean, if it didn't hurt people so much, you would actually laugh, right? But there's no laughing matter. Our country is slowly being taken away from the average Bahamian who have an inherent right to this country. But I don't only blame them, I also blame we as Bahamians because we cannot, for some reason, we refuse to come together as a collective to address this. And I'm not talking about the 10 in this pocket and the 5 in this pocket. I'm talking about a huge collective, 5,000, 10,000 of us. We see the atrocities, we feel the atrocities on a daily basis, and yet we still refuse to come together as a people that agitate those that we have elected to put into our parliament to pass laws, to amend laws, to bring things up to standard. And yet they refuse to do it because they see the lacklusterness of the Bahamian people. When are we going to come together as a people and demand the justices that we all out here fighting and speaking about to come about? This is the whole thing that really has a lot of people vexed. We got to fix this problem, not for them, but for us. Fix it. Thanks for taking my call, CA, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you very much. I have a text here before my minutes run out. Says, good morning, Mr. Newry. It's the new year. The police needs to have roadblocks morning, noon, night times for weeks, and the Bahamians will see a big difference in what's going on in this country. I expect any minute now the roadblocks will start. This text will say, I agree 100% with Jeff. And yes, I need to have a show on that in general now. I can pen that down for Thursday. Whose Bahamas is this anyway? Because it don't seem like it's necessarily ours. Right? But anyway, I have 1 minute before. I guess he ain't 1 minute or more. Anyway, Guardian Radio in the AM. This is CA Newry, and we have Howard Grant coming on next. Have a wonderful day.